So to set up an elastic load balancer, we should start with EC2. Okay, then we should have two EC2 servers which should be launched as a web server, and then we will create a elastic load balancer so that we can manage the load between the two web servers. Now to go with creating web server, right, we should launch an EC2. Now the question is where we should launch the EC2 instances. For that we should go to the new VPC being created. So I'll go with the fresh creation of VPC, that is virtual private cloud, and then creating two subnets where it is being launched in the separate availability zones, so that we'll be able to start that. So let's see, launch VPC. We'll go with the creation of VPC. Create VPC. Give the name to the VPC, own VPC, own VPC, own custom, I would say, custom VPC. CIDR block which we are choosing, that is the same, /16. So no IPv6, and say creating VPC. So VPC is created. Now I will go with subnet creation for that VPC. Create a subnet. Let's see, I need a two public servers, so I'll be creating two separate servers distributed among different availability zones. So let's see, this subnet is, we can call it as a public custom, right? So this is, let's see, 1A VPC which we are choosing, that is own custom VPC. Preferences, which 1A which I have mentioned, and the IP address that we are going to give is 1.0/24. So this is created. Now let's see, go with another one, create custom public custom 1B VPC is own custom VPC. Preferences is 1B, and giving the range 1.0.2.0/24. This is the subnet range, and this is done, right? Now we will go with launching two instances and setting up web server in that. Running instances, launch instances, free tier eligibility, selecting an Ubuntu server. Next configuration. Now here we should change the settings of our default custom VPC, sorry, and this we are launching in 1A, and setting up enable of public IP address. Next, add storage. We're not going to do that. Adding tag, this is name web server 1A. right? This is web configuring security group. Now here we'll be creating a new security group called as web DMZ. Okay, SSH is by default, it is there. Now we are going to select HTTP traffic and we'll make it anywhere, right? And say review and launch under that security group, launching with the same key pair, that is web server, and launching the instances. So again we will launch one more instances, launch instance, free tier, Ubuntu, custom VPC. Now it is in the public 1B, setting up public IP address to be enabled. Next, add storage, add tax name, public web server 1B, selecting security group, existing one web DMZ that we have already created for this, review and launching with the same key pair that we have created earlier as a web server. Now it's done. Now configuring this VPC as a instances as a web server. So second is under running state and first is already running. So let's configure the first one. One A, this is the first web server which is launched. Now accessing this web server using our putty to configure it as a HTTP service. We have already created .ppk file of the web server PIM file. We will use session done and let's say hit for accepting the connection. There is a network connection error. Let me try again. Putty, selecting .ppk extension, web server IP address, public IP address, and let me check with the inbound security rules. 22 is enabled. Yes, we have only configured as a public and getting a public IP address, but the VPC configuration that we have not done. So what we are going to do, we are going to create an internet gateway for that, right? So going to VPC section, and we need to create an internet gateway, and also root table needs to be configured. Now creating an internet gateway to attach it to the VPC, because the newest VPC that we have created is not attached to any internet gateway. So custom IGW internet gateway, create, go to the internet gateway and attach it to the VPC. Now which VPC? Only the left out VPC will be shown, that is own custom VPC, and it's done. Now again we'll have to go to the VPC part, and then we need to configure the root table of the main VPC that we have created. This is own VPC. This is the root tables where we need to do the subnet association, because we have created two subnets, but it should be the part of the root table so that it will redirect the traffic. Edit subnet association. Now here the two subnets which we have made it public, that we are going to select, and that's it. Now we'll be checking with putty connection. Will it be